In this video, we're going to talk about an update to the stimulus package for August the 21st. Now, this is going to focus on the post office and the congressional hearings and how it's going to affect the next stimulus package. But before we do, if this is your first time at our channel or you haven't subscribed, click on the subscribe button at the bottom. My name is Travis Sickle, certified financial planner, helping you reach your financial goals. So I'm going to go over some of the highlights and show you how it's going to affect and possibly affect the next stimulus package. So these are the highlights from the congressional hearings with the Post Master General DeJoy and the senators. So I'm going to start with Senator Ron Johnson from Wisconsin. And in the conversation, Johnson was asking about the capacity for the U.S. mail across the country. And DeJoy responded by saying that they handle 433 million pieces of mail per day, and how this is going to possibly affect the election. The election is going to have about 150 million mail-in ballots over a week. So what he was saying was this is a relatively small amount. And DeJoy, the Postmaster General DeJoy, said that they have adequate capacity and absolutely no issues when it comes to delivering the mail. There was also some concern surrounding the mail boxes. So those blue boxes that you would see on street corners, and there's about 140,000 of those in the country. And interestingly, over the last 10 years, 35,000 have been removed. Now, this is a big piece, a centerpiece of what's going on at the post office, that they were slowing up the mail and they were taking all these post office boxes off the streets in a short period of time. But according to Postmaster General DeJoy, that's just not true. That since he's been in office, only 700 have been removed. And now again, 35,000 have been removed over the last 10 years. And then Postmaster General DeJoy also went on to clarify that this was a process that was already in motion before he got into office, and he didn't even know that there was a regular maintenance or removal of these post office boxes. And he also mentioned that the mail carrier machines are running at a 35% capacity. And DeJoy also said that on a daily basis, they do 40,000 trips, mail carrier routes per day. And on these 40,000, when he started, he's saying that there was a 12% or 12% of the mail was late, and now it's down to 2%. And then Senator Peters from Michigan was asking questions on transparency and the operation of the post office. And then interestingly, Senator Peters was saying there was vagueness in the Postmaster General's response. And so then he said, I would like to go in very specifically to these questions. And he started with, yes, point blank, are you eliminating or have you reduced overtime? Well, in the press release that we talked about in our previous video on the post office, Postmaster General DeJoy clearly outlines and says that we reassert that overtime has and will continue to be approved as needed. And then DeJoy followed up that $700 million in overtime has been paid out since he's been in office. And then Senator Peters asked if he was actually going to suspend operational changes moving forward. But yet again, on that same memo, it says very clearly that the mail process equipment and blue collection boxes will remain where they are, and no mail processing facilities will be closed, and retail hours at post offices will not change. And then Senator Peters asked if the post office was going to bring back the processing machines that they are not currently using. And Postmaster General DeJoy said no. And it's clear why he wouldn't if they're at 35% capacity, unless they're not. And then Senator Rob Portman was speaking and was clarifying quite a few things that I had questions previously, but we already have all of those answers. Number one, the Postmaster General started 67 days ago. Number two, Senator Portman talked about how the Postmaster General became the Postmaster General. So the Postmaster General gets elected by a bipartisan board that is confirmed by the Senate. So the Postmaster General is a member of the Board of Governors of the Postal Service and is elected by the board's 9 governors, who are in turn appointed by the President of the United States with the advice and consent of the U.S. Senate. So from everything so far, it's unclear of whether or not the post office can actually do their job or not. What we're hearing from the media and reports is that mail is late, and there is doubt to whether or not the post office can meet the requirements. But according to the Postmaster General, it sounds like they have ample capacity to handle the mail-in ballots. So here's what's interesting, and here's where it ties into the stimulus package. They're on track, according to the Postmaster General, they're on track to have a $9 billion loss at the post office. And he's trying to go through all these cost-cutting measures. Well, those are obviously getting put on hold until after the November election, which is exactly what the Postmaster General said. But if they're running at a $9 billion loss, if you remember from the stimulus package earlier this week called the skinny bill or the skinny package, it included $10 billion for the post office. The House of Representatives is apparently meeting tomorrow to vote on a proposal for $25 billion. But it also is possible that if the House is coming back, maybe there will be negotiations on the rest of the stimulus package. Maybe they just needed a reason to come back to Washington to do more negotiations, and they're using the Postal Service as center stage because an election's coming up. But in any case, hopefully they can put their differences aside and figure out the next stimulus package so America can get the stimulus checks, the PPP funding, and all the other support that they need to get through this pandemic. And that is your stimulus package update for August the 21st with the post office. And of course, if more information comes out, I'll put out another video. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and leave your comments down at the bottom.